Hi guys, it's Arya from Arya Creates, and I'm going to show you how to put the first layer of clay on your armatures. What you're going to need is creative paper clay or any type of air dry clay that it specifically says that you can use over an armature. Not all air dry clays are the same, and not all can go on an armature. Some of them, and I've learned from trial and error, do not work on armatures. They break, crack, crumble, doesn't matter how thick they are. So I recommend the creative paper clay. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it at Michael's. Joann's does not carry it. I don't know about Hobby Lobby or any of the other craft stores, but I know Michael's carries it. You'll need an armature, your clay, you'll need a bowl of water. So I'm going to go ahead and flip this down so that you can see what I'm working on and how I'm doing it. So just one sec. Okay, so what you're going to do first is you're going to take you're going to dip your fingers in your bowl of water, and you're just going to get your armature wet because you want your clay to have something to grip onto, and that helps. I've got a little piece of air dry of the creative clay, and I'm just putting a little bit of water in it because mine's a little bit dry. By the way, when you're storing it, you're going to want to do it in a Ziploc baggie. If it feels like it's a little dry for you, you can put a paper towel that's damp in with it, and that will keep it nice and wet. But when it gets dried out, you cannot reconstitute it. So just thought I would put that out there and let you know. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, and we're just going to take little bits of it and just follow our mold. We're going to push it in. It's going to be a little bit difficult in the beginning, but once you start getting it in and you're pushing it in and smoothing it out and making sure that there are no air pockets or air bubbles, which is what I'm doing right now. I'm just pushing and pushing and pushing and making sure that there are no air pockets, no air bubbles. I'm getting my hands just a little bit wet to make it a little bit easier. As you can tell by my hands, I did the other one too. So I did notice that in my other video I was saying a lot, so I'm going to work on that. Apparently I say a lot in real life, so it's something that I'll have to work on constantly. So I apologize for all the ums. It annoys me just as much as it does you. So what I'm doing is I'm just going in and I'm pushing it down, grabbing water, and just making sure that it blends with the other clay that I put down. And I'm being kind of forceful, not super forceful to break the armature, but at the same time forceful enough that we are getting it on and that there are no air bubbles, air pockets. We want it to fit right along the armature. So that is what I am doing. I'm just work, 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 work. And when I'm done with this, what's going to happen is what's great about the creative paper clay is I can put it in the oven. You can put it in the oven at the very lowest setting to help with the drying process. If you live in a damp climate or your house is just really cold or has lots of moisture, it'll take longer for it to dry, and I'm impatient, so I like to use the oven to help with the drying time, because I need to have this first layer dry completely so that I can go ahead and start on the molding of the features and what have you that I want this to have. So that is what I am working on. And my clay is just slightly dry, so I'm just doing this just to make sure. And I'm only doing the head, the neck, and the body. I'm not working on the legs. As you can see in this one, the legs don't have any clay on them, and neither do the arms. Those I do with the second or third coat, just because the arms are the most delicate part, and I'm not quite sure how I'm going to have the arms. So this is what I am working on, and I'm just going back in and making sure that I'm smoothing it out and smoothing it down, because I do not want any air bubbles. If there are any air bubbles, when it dries, it will crack, because that's just the nature of the beast. I'm just going through and I'm smoothing and pressing and just making sure that it's getting in there and doing what I want it to do. Now it's a little dry here, so I'm just adding some more water. Now, as you can tell, this is not like a huge, like, thick layer of clay. It's just, you know, a nice thin layer, which is nice. So I'm just going through and I'm just like smoothing it as I'm going and making sure that the parts that I want covered are covered. And that they're nice and smooth. Just adding a little bit more to this, just making sure. And as you can see, I'm just doing like little, like I'm just dipping my hands in the water and rubbing it on the clay. I'm not going crazy. You don't want to dip the whole thing into the water. That would not be good. And I'm just like moving it around, and I'm just putting it out and like thin, like I'm just taking it and I'm like making, you know, flattening it out a little, just so that I've got some nice clay to work with. And I'm just taking my finger and making sure that it smooths into the next little bit. And I just want to make sure that they blend in nicely. I don't know if you can see that, but you want it to blend in with that other sheet of clay that you already put down. So that is what I'm working on right here. I'm just making sure that it's all nice and in there. And I'm just going to stop it right here at the top of the legs, because I'm not ready to do the leg part yet. I'm just going to put a little bit in its crotch area to make sure that that's nice and done. It's just a matter of like pinching it over and making sure that everything is so. That's how we're doing this. So this video is going, I'm going to go ahead and this looks pretty decent. Just need to add a little bit more. Right in here. Okay. Just putting a little bit of water on so I can move and mold some stuff. And I'm just making sure that it's nice and smooth. Making sure that neck is good. Okay. So there we go. And I'm just like making sure that that's nice and smooth. Okay. So there we have it. First layer of clay, leaving the arms and the legs done. And I'm going to put these in the oven so that they can bake and get nice and dry so that I can work on making them look like the animals that they were commissioned to be. So that is what I'm going to do. And then for you, it'll be like snap done for this video. But it takes a few hours for them to dry. So I will see you back in a few hours, and you guys have a wonderful day and enjoy a couple of hours. And I will see you back when I'm ready to mold. This is all going to be in one video, so I will see you guys in a few. Bye. Hi guys, so I'm back, and these are dry. Now this one, it looks like it's cracked, but it's not really. I just forgot to smooth it out down here, and this is one of the little pigs I'm going to be working on. So I'm just going to show you how to do some molded eyes. This one is going to be a cat. This one is going to be a goat. And then the other one is going to be a dog. And what I have are reference photos. These are photos of the actual animals that I'm trying to recreate. Mine are a little bit more folklore-y, but I've got like all of the animals that I've been commissioned to do. I also make sure that I have their names and if they're a boy or a girl. That just helps me. And then I printed out pictures and stuff that I had taken when I went to go visit these animals, and took some pictures that the client had taken too of their animals. So that is what I'm going to be working on. So I think we're going to start with the pig, which is a girl, and it's Josie. So let me just find that really quick. Let's see. Okay. So here are my two reference photos. I've got those, but she had also taken some really great like close-up pictures, because I'm a new person, and her animals liked my kids a whole lot better than they liked me. So she had some really great close-ups so that I could get really good detail of their faces. So those are what I'm going to use as reference photos. And I'm just going to like fill in the parts that are not quite as smooth as I want them to. It's not that they're cracked, it's just I didn't get it all the way in. And so because it's really thin right along here, it kind of cracked a little bit, but that's not because of the mold, it's user error. So that's what I'm going to be working on. We're going to do the pig first. And what you're going to need for this, again, is creative paper clay. It's what I use. You don't have to use exactly what I use, but you just need to find an air dry clay that you can use on an armature. Otherwise, it's going to crack and break, and who wants that? Nobody wants that. You're going to need a bowl of water. You're going to need sculpting tools. For the eyes and stuff, I like using tools that have a little bit of a curve to them. I don't know if you can see that. So you see it's got kind of a curve. And this one. These came in just like a very basic clay making kit. I just wanted one that had these in it. And so I use these ones a lot. This one I actually got on Etsy, from an Etsy shop. And they're handmade. It's kind of like a really deep little spoon. You can make your own. I'm just not very good at it. So I usually find people who can make what I want. And then this one was one that he had offered, and it's a great one. I use like, these are just like a flat smoothing tool. You're just going to want like, I've got like ball tools that has like a little flat part. You can get these at any craft store. If you just look in their clay making section, I believe this one I got with in the clay section, like where the polymer clay and stuff is at. You can also get I have a lot of other tools. I've got like this huge set of like really soft tipped ones, which are varying sizes and shapes. So I've got like the cone shaped one. My daughter used them, so they're not super clean, which is totally fine with me because I can just pull it off super easy. You're going to want a knife tool of some sort. This came in one of those kits. It has like a little end, and it's got like a rounded type tool that's got a little bit of a curve, but not a whole lot. I have some metal tools. This is a dental tool. It's really great. I like using it. I use it for like when I'm making holes in noses and what have you. I've also got like teeny tiny like little ball. This is one that I got off of Etsy as well. So I've got like X-Acto knives and just like basic tools, lots of basic tools. I have like this one that I actually got from a ceramic shop. So it's just finding tools that are going to work for you and what you need. And so I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to pull this down so you can see exactly what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. And I'll try to be as clear as I can. Okay, so I'm just going to, I apologize for the shaking. Okay, so get in my clay. Alright, so you're going to start by getting wet your finger, and you're going to put some wetness on the part that you're going to be doing. So I'm just going to be filling in this part of her neck because, you know, I messed up, which happens, you know, when you're making a whole bunch of them. That's why there's more than one layer of clay, is so that you can get all of those little bits done and make sure that it's nice and strong and gonna be like perfect. I know I just did the Valley Girl, like, I apologize. And it's been a day since the last part was recorded. My husband took me out to dinner, so I didn't get to do this. And then I was dizzy this morning, so it's in the afternoon. But yeah. So I'm just making sure that the bottom part, I'm taking my finger and I'm just like smoothing it out. And making sure that I'm smoothing out along. Let's see if I can get that so you can see. I'm just smoothing as best I can. Just getting it as nice and smooth so that all of those like little holes and cracks are filled. And I'm just working in small layers. Not huge, thick layers. It takes longer to dry. There we go. Now, I have a pencil, and I am going to be, well, I did have a pencil. I guess I don't anymore. Oh, no, here's a pencil. Oh, well, it's a pen. I'm just going to mark where her ears are. So I'm going to take a look at my reference photos, because I want to make sure I get them in the right position. Okay. All right, so her... So I'm going to put her eyes, they're more towards the front of her. Put her eyes right there and right there. And then the bottom of the ear is here, and it goes to about here. So I just put like little black marks on it, just to give me some guidelines and what have you. So I am just going to be working, I'm going to work on her eyes first, and I've got the little notches for her ears because I want to get the eyes on first, let them dry, and then I will work on the ears. So I have a ball of clay here. It's about the size of a couple of, like a pea, or well, 2 peas, like, I don't know, the size of my thumbnail in thickness. So I'm just going to take it and make sure that it's even, and roll it, and then I'm going to take an X-Acto knife and I'm going to cut it in half, and I'm going to dip my X-Acto knife in water, and I'm just going to like eyeball it and make sure that they're about the same. Okay, so we end up with like 2 little pea sizes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to work on her eyes. And they're like mostly round. They're kind of like human eyes. So I'm just going to add a little bit of water to that. It doesn't dry out on me. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to do it in like tic-tac form. I put a little bit of water on, and then what I do with my finger is I just like, I make sure I've got some water, and I just kind of like oval it out, and I'm just smoothing it down into the thing so it kind of looks like that. Now I am going to take my cuppy shaped one, let's see if I can get that in there, and I'm going to get it wet because it does a really nice round, and so that's what I want. And so what I'm going to do, let's see if I can get it in here so you can see, is I'm going to, this is really difficult to photograph, so I'm going to take and place it in, and I'm just doing a rolling motion. Okay, see how I did that? And then I'm going to take on the other side, and I'm going to do a rolling motion here too. Okay, so there we go. And then I'm just gonna go in, and I'm just gonna, I got a little bit more water because I want to smooth it out, so that's what I'm doing, is smoothing it out. Okay. Okay. And then, looking at the picture, I'm just gonna smoothing this out just a little. I think I'm gonna redo this. I know, mistakes are beautiful, so I'm just smoothing it out. Okay, just because I don't want it up that high. It's too jutty. So we're going to do it again. We're going to go, it's just to make it a little so it doesn't stand out as much. And I'm just sticking it in and rolling it. Getting a little bit more and sticking it in and rolling it. And there we go. I think that looks much better. Okay. So that's one eye. Now, time for the other one. So we're just going to do the same thing on the other side. Gonna roll it out. I'm just smoothing it out. And because we don't want it like super big like I do for my dolls, we're just going to make sure it's smoothed out. Okay. Now, okay. Okay. So there we go. See if it'll focus. So there we go. There's her eyes. And I'm going to work on her nose and some of the wrinkles that she has around her nose. So I just grabbed another like small piece of clay and putting a little bit of water in it. Let's see. She's got some really cute nose wrinkles, and her nose is kind of shaped like I don't know if you can see that. It is shaped kind of like an upside down heart, so I'm going to try and play into that when I go to do the nose part. So I'm going to put in a few wrinkles, which I'm just going to roll out some pieces, and I'm going to put water on her nose because that's my nose base. And I'm just doing these like I did the eye, you know, just smoothing it down in because we want it to be nice and smooth. Then I'm going to take this tool. I'm just going to go in and I'm going to give her some nice like little wrinkles. Okay, see that? And looks like she's got a few, so I'm just okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, it's like a little flexible thing, because I want to just flatten this out, but my fingers are too big to go in there. And then I take, where are you? Take this one and I'm just gonna kind of smooth it out. Okay, yep, you just saw that. I totally just stuck that in my mouth. I'm really bad at doing that. So I'm just she has kind of a wrinkly nose, so I'm just going in there and putting in some like little wrinkles. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do her heart-shaped nose part. and I'm just rolling out like a little snake in my hand. I do a lot of stuff in my hand. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm taking the snake and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with it. So I'm just okay. Okay, so see what I'm doing? I'm taking that. I need to make sure that I wet right here, because I want to make sure that and then I'm just like smoothing that on, because I want to make sure that I'm just trying to give her little nose some shape. I'm taking this tool and I'm just, so it's like a heart shape. I'm just going to go in and I'm just going to okay, so do you see that? I can get a little closer and get some more wrinkles in her nose. And again, just smoothing out the ends and stuff, making sure it's nice and smooth, because that's what we want, is nice and smooth. I think that's too many. Well, let's just smooth that so I can get it a little bit better. Okay. Yeah, I do. It's a lot of, well, what's gonna look good? So I end up making a lot of mistakes. Okay, so I'm gonna do one right there. Do hints of the wrinkles. How does that look? Looks a little bit better. It'll be a lot better once I get in there with the color and stuff. Just, my hair's like in my way. So I'm just adding some in, taking some out, and I nicked over here, so I'm just gonna smooth it out. There we go. Just smooth it out, make it look a little bit. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to do the bottom part of her lip, which kind of comes in and goes along the back. So I'm just taking some more clay. I know that looks a little weird, but I promise you it won't look so weird in just a minute. I feel like she needs another one right in there. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to get in here and get some water in. And I'm just following that line. And then I'm just to get that in there. I want her to kind of look like she's smiling a little. I have to put some more clay underneath. This is a lot harder than I wanted it to be. There we go. I'm just like, I'm struggling. I think it's because you guys are watching me. So, and do I think it goes back just a little? I'm just going to add a little bit of fullness right here because her bottom part is a lot fuller. Now that's looking better. Now that I added that to there. Do you see that? I'm like, it's not looking right. And then I just want that to come down just a little bit more. Okay. So that looks a little bit better. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna let her dry a little bit more before I put on the ears. I'm probably going to make her jowl just like a little bit fuller because she's a pig and pigs are fuller. So I'm just going to like even them out a little. See, as you can see, like this side has more because of the underclay and the mold that I did. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of like even them out and make them look you know, look the same on both sides. Oh no. There we go. Okay. Remember to put water down. I'm just putting water on my fingers. I'm just building it up as I'm going. So as you can see, I'm like making it more fuller. Pigs are not skinny. They have nice, fluffy, round cheeks. So this is just like my reference photo. And do you see how like full her face is? Yes, she's got like elongated nose, but like right in here is full and her cheeks are full. So that's what I'm working on doing because that's what she needs. So I'm just going in and making sure that I'm getting it all like full. So that's what I'm doing. I'm taking little bits of clay and I'm just sticking them on where I think, you know, they need to go and just filling it in. Now this is going to be a little thicker layer, and so it's going to take a little bit longer to dry than that first coat of clay. And if I have to go back in and redo my wrinkles, I'll go back in and I'll redo my wrinkles. It's not a big deal. I just want to get this stuff in. If I have to go back in and like fix the eyes and the molding, I can do that. This is just the first one. And it's just to get like placement where everything is, and you want to keep it nice and smooth and just working. I think that is like the look I want. See the difference? So this side is just about done, and then I just need to do the other side. Just trying to get it in there and get it nice and rounded. And I'm like pulling it around because we want it nice and smooth back here. So then when it's all dry, I'm going to go ahead and, you know, sand it a little bit and get it nice and done. It's a bit of finagling and playing and just getting it just right. And I'm just, okay, so I'm going to take my little tool. I'm just going to make sure my eyes have a nice defined line. And then I'll go in with this tool, and I'm just getting it wet a little, but I don't want it too wet, hence the reason why I shoved it in my sorry. Yeah, so I was just redefining the edge with that little tool. I'm taking this tool, I'm just getting it wet, and I'm just smoothing this out just a little bit more. And going in and like just making this line just a little bit more defined. I'm just going in and just like making sure this is all like nice and smooth, and then just go in and smooth out, because we don't want these to be like super harsh, so I'm just going in and like smoothing them and just taking my finger, smoothing them so that we don't have like these harsh kind of lines. So I'm just smoothing them a little bit. I'm going to go in and just add a few more. Just okay. Oh, my hair. So there is her facial features. She's going to look more pig-like once we get the ears on, and then when I do the painting. But yeah, so okay. So I think we've kind of got her just about done, I think. I think I need to take like this part out. Okay. So I just evened that out just a little. So that's her, and then I just go ahead and like make sure the back parts are smooth. I mean, I'm gonna go over it again and put some more in when I do the next layer. So, but that's like basically what I do. You know, the parts are like the eyes, the nose, and what have you. So I need to set her off to the side so she can dry, and then I'll work on her ears in a little bit. You guys are gonna have to wait to see how I put on the ears. You can do this for any of them. There we go. Now you can see me all the way. So there'll be one more video. So this is the end. I hope you guys enjoy.